So the TV business generates more than half of Disney's profit. Programming costs are increasing. Are you concerned about this particular business getting squeezed?
Not really. I mean, the quarter just reported, as you said, was uninspiring, but I think Bob Iger got on the call and did his best impression of Aaron Rodgers and said RELAX, relax, as it relates to the subscriber losses. He talked a lot about direct-to-consumer and using the BAMTech investment to do that. So I think that's why the stock initially was down and then turned around after he started talking on the call about that.
Shares trading up now 3% post-market. Geeta, would you agree with that?
Yes, I do agree. I mean, there was a lot of noise coming into this quarter because of some tough comps from last year, which had the benefit of an extra week. And so there was, the estimates were a little bit all over the place. So there was some noise there. But then, yes, I think Bob Iger did a very good job of allaying any fears in the minds of investors regarding the growth prospects for ESPN.
Now, Walter, let's talk a little bit about ESPN, because Nielsen last week reported ESPN losing over 600,000 subscribers between October and November. What's your take, even if losses are slowing? What is your take on the future of the business?
Yeah, well, I think ESPN remains one of the most valuable properties in media, and I understand there have been some subscriber losses. But again, Iger talked on the call about using this investment that they just made in BAMTech to go more direct to consumer, and I think that's going to really resonate perhaps with some younger subscribers that have gone off these multi-channel cable packages and can use it direct to the consumer. So I think the value is there, and I'm not really that concerned about it. I also love the diversity that Disney has. I mean, that's one of the beauties of the company, is they do have these other businesses that, while they have trouble at ESPN currently, they can offset that with an incredible studio slate coming up next year, as well as the parks and resorts in Shanghai due to break even next year.
Let's talk about Shanghai Disney. Obviously, now been open for a few months. Geeta, do we know how well Shanghai Disney is doing?
Yeah, so management has had great things to say about Shanghai Disney. As Walter mentioned, it's going to break even. That's what management said next year. They gave some attendance numbers. They said 4 million visitors in the first 4 months, which is very encouraging. Of course, they're not going to give guidance for the future. But so far, I mean, it's been a textbook opening for Disney, and it's resonating really well with the audiences there. And I think the other one thing that Bob Iger mentioned was the fact that they have some pricing leverage there. So it'll be interesting to see how Shanghai becomes a really important part of their international park operations.
It'll be interesting to see how the park does through the winter. Winter in Shanghai is brutal, having experienced it myself. Let's talk a little bit about the movie slate, Walter. What are you so excited about when it comes to upcoming releases?
Well, I think obviously the Star Wars franchise is front and center. They got one coming out in a couple, I guess, next month in December, and then the Episode 8 coming out next year. So when you look out at Disney, one of the great things about it is the predictability of that earnings stream, because the movie slate's so planned out for 3 to 5 years in advance. On top of that, you got more Marvel movies coming out next year, and then they mentioned the Cars 3 coming out next year also. So just a really broad spectrum of movies.